One question remains.
Who's in charge around here?
What's going on, ladies and gents, ghouls and goblins of the world? Big Kev here from Big Kev's World, coming at you with another video. Unfortunately, it's a very heartbreaking loss today. Tennessee Titans lose 20-21 to the New York Football Giants, G-Men, if you want to call them. We're going to do a week one recap of, what I thought about the game. Where do I think Tennessee goes from here? Let's start that off first. I'm not worried. And the reason why I'm not worried, I know some Titan fans, I know people who are not fans of the Titans are going to be like, hey, kid, you lost to the Giants. Shut up. Here's my thing to you. This is the thing about the NFL Week 1. NFL Week 1 is so unpredictable. It's always unpredictable. When you only have 3 preseason games, and most of your starters do not play that preseason game, that shows during Week 1. Week 1 is pretty much let's see what we have for the rest of the year, things are going to happen. Teams are going to end up upsetting other teams. It happens all the time on Week 1, which is why I'm not particularly too terribly upset about what happened. Now, what I will say is I felt the Titans got off to a really good start. I thought that Tannehill was flowing pretty well. He looked poised, except for a couple little throws here and there where Tannehill threw like over or under. I thought for the most part, Tannehill actually played a complete game. Believe it or not, I know some people were hating on Tannehill, and from last season, we had all those injuries last season, and I thought Tannehill really did a very good job managing this football team today. Derrick Henry had 22 carries for 81 yards. Not the Derrick Henry performance that a lot of Titan fans and a lot of NFL fans are accustomed to. But you have to keep in mind, Derrick Henry's coming off that little foot surgery where he has those plates and screws in his foot. Running a football is all about timing. It's all about your feet. It's all about coordination. And I felt there was a couple of runs there where I felt Derrick Henry looked like the old Derrick Henry of old. But when you go and you don't have no snaps during the preseason and they rest you for pretty much most of the offseason, you can see a little bit of problems there, And that's the underlying kicker for the Titans is, Derrick Henry still almost had 100 yards rushing today. That's pretty cool. Our rookie receiver, Burks, he had 3 receptions for 55 yards. Our other rookie, who stepped up pretty good in the receiving game, was none other than Kyle Phillips. He had 6 receptions for 66 yards, but he did a real terrible thing during the punt return where he fumbled and gave the New York Giants so much good field position. I I want, in halftime, I thought we established a pretty good thing. Jeffrey Simmons, baby Thanos, shows why he's one of the best defensive linemen in the league. Got 2 sacks. I thought, Weaver, who had the ACL last year, was supposed to be Harold Landry's backup. Had a pretty good game. 2 sacks for him. Monty Hooker got an interception in the end zone. There was some good plays that the defense did do, but you got to credit the New York Football Giants. You got to credit the Giants. Honestly, their head coach was the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, and this is the first time the Giants have had Barkley healthy, and Barkley showed when he's healthy how dangerous of a runner Barkley really is. And the Giants had him injured. He had some injuries the last 2 or 3 seasons. And I will say this much: Barkley won that game for the New York Giants. Daniel Jones is a managing kind of quarterback. He's nothing to be fancy. He's not going to scare you with his arm. He's not going to scare you with that. But not Buffalo, but sorry, because I'm thinking of the offensive coordinators from Buffalo. But the Giants did a really good job especially in the second half. They did a really good job of faking out that Titan defense. They were running plays where it looked like they were about to throw it and then ran it, and then that little shuttle pass there at the end when they went for 2, it looked like they were going for the pass, and then he shuffled past to Barkley. Barkley got that 2-point conversion. So you got to credit that you got to credit the Titans defense for making plays, but you also got to credit that Giants defense, not the Giants defense, but that Giants offense. And I'm sorry, I've just been all over the place today. So if I'm speaking in tongues, I'm sorry about that. The biggest thing that I'm taking away from this game is the Tennessee Titans have this mentality, and they've had this mentality for the last couple of seasons. And they showed it last year too. When it's when it's a really good football team that the Titans are facing, whether it's a playoff team, a Super Bowl winning team, whatever the case may be, whether it's a playoff team, when the Titans face a playoff team, they tend to come and rise to the occasion. When they face a team that they should have won, and let's face it, the Titans should have demolished the Giants. And you Giants fans, I know you guys are celebrating a victory, but you guys are lucky. Very, 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 very lucky. We all know that the Tennessee Titans are the better football team than you guys. And if you guys sitting there thinking that you guys are a better football team and that's because you won a game today, then you are sorely mistaken. You guys are not a better football team than the Tennessee Titans. You guys have a rejuvenated, you have a really good football coach. He was an offensive coordinator for Buffalo, like I said, so he's a really good. So he came from Buffalo. He was really good. He helped wreck the plays for Buffalo and Josh Allen. And you saw it today with the Giants offense, and there's no excuse. Honestly, the Titans gave this up. They had an opportunity to really close this game out and let the Giants leave in the rearview mirror, but they didn't do that. And Barkley had a really great game. I mean, he had like almost like a $175, $180 running against the Titans. But see, the plays that he had was a lot of trickery plays. So that's also another thing too. And got to give it up for the New York Giants offensive coordinator and their head coach who figured out these really good plays to do that. The Titans defense, it would have been a little bit better with Harold Landry. Losing Landry for the season really has hurt. But, I know knowing Mike Vrabel, the way he coaches and the way his mentality is, the Titans are going to dust this off. They're going to go into week 2, which is going to be a hostile environment, which the Titans have beaten Buffalo the last 2 seasons in Nashville. So we're going to Buffalo. And Buffalo looked really dominant against the Rams. They really did look a lot dominant. But for some reason, the Titans seem to play good against Buffalo. We tend to have their number. And Buffalo might be looking for blood, but then again, the Titans are also don't want to go to an 0-2 start going to face the Colts in week 3. So, but here's the thing. I'm also not worried because the Texans and the Colts game was a tie. So no one in the AFC South won a game today. So they're all so no one's won a game. So that division still is open. And these are games where the Titans are going to be kicking themselves in the ass for because these are games that you have to win in order to have a good seed in the playoffs or to win a division. And this division is going to, I saw a lot of good things from the Texans today. Like, I know Stephen Rose is a big Texans fan. I saw a lot of good stuff from the Texans. And I think the Texans are an up-and-coming team. They've done a really good job this offseason rebuilding. And the Colts have got some really good pieces to their puzzle. A lot of people think Matty Ice, Matt Ryan is the guy. I honestly don't think Matt Ryan is the guy. But that's to remain to be seen. The Jaguars have got a really good coach in Doug Peterson, who is a former Super Bowl winning coach from the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Jaguars played the Washington Commodores or the Washington, Commanders, Commodore Commanders, whatever they are. I still call them the Redskins. I don't know about the rest of you, but they played Washington pretty tough. And, there's a lot of things that happened here in week 1. Cincinnati lost, which I was not expecting Cincinnati to lose. I wasn't expecting the Packers to lose the way they did it to Minnesota. But then again, the Lions gave the Eagles a run for their money. But what people don't understand is this is week 1. Everybody needs to chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out. And, and I hate the people that sit there and run their mouth. They run their stinking mouth about games, but yet they don't want to sit there. And they're always thinking about other people. And they're like, oh, well, how did your team lose to this team? How did your team lose to that team? Well, right now, your team is, I don't like to talk about other people's teams because I look at it like, we are fans, yes. We go to football games. We do pay for the jerseys. We pay for our memorabilia. We pay for the stuff that we are supposed to be as football fans. But at the same time, we're not out there on a Thursday or a Sunday or a Monday. We're not out there in the pads and the jerseys and the helmets, and we're not out there playing a football game. We're also not head coaches. We're not general managers. Even though we like to pretend like we are on Madden, we're not. And that's the one thing that I've always interesting about people who talk trash on here. It's like, unless you actually have played the game, which I've played the game for many years, playing football. Unless you play the game, unless you understand this game, you really shouldn't be running your mouth. That's just my opinion on that. People can disagree with me on that all they want. I don't care. That's just how I look at it. But I really do think that maybe Derrick Henry's mindset's a little off. I can see that a little bit. He doesn't have that killer instinct that he had last season. And sometimes when you come back from injury, sometimes a lot of it's mental, a lot of it's psychic, psychological. So you have to get yourself more prepared and stuff like that. But I still think 21 to 22 carries for 81 yards isn't that bad, considering the injury that he had. And it's going to take a while for that foot to get that second step. And then, like I said, there were some plays where the Titans actually there's some plays where Derrick Henry looked like King Henry of old. So now what we do is we go back to the drawing board. The next game up. That's how the Titans approach it. That's how Coach Vrabel approaches things. It's the next, it's the next game up. Next game up is at Buffalo, and this is a game where Buffalo. I'm not gonna lie. Buffalo worries me. They showed a lot of poise and a lot of great. They went into Los Angeles and beat up the defending Super Bowl champions like they were nothing. But then again, though, what is it about the Buffalo Bills that we have their number? I don't know. Buffalo played us tough last year. It was a nail biter last year. But we tend to have their number. And so now we have to make sure that we go into Buffalo and make a statement. And the Titans, the last couple of seasons, this is even before their playoff runs. The Titans have had a really good. This is around the time the Titans were like 9-7, 8-8, and all that. They've done a very good job in the past of playing against really good playoff teams and winning. They won 8 playoff. They beat 8 playoff teams last year. So, and some of those was 9 games without Derrick Henry. So, yes, I do believe that we have a good shot in going to Buffalo and upsetting the Buffalo Bills. I know some people are not going to pick us because they're going to be, oh, they lost to the Giants, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But keep in mind one important thing. I saw a lot of good from this Titan team. Even though they lost, now what happened there at the end was the Giants were getting called for a lot of pass interference there at that last couple plays of the game. I felt like we had a really good shot of taking the ball down the field and going for a touchdown. But then, Mike Vrabel decided to call timeout for whatever reason. And then they ran the ball, then they went and did a play, and then they threw the ball down the field, and then they decided to let Randy Bullock, chubby boy Bullock, go for the kick at 47 yards. Now, the Giants did a really good job of icing the kicker. So I had to explain that to my wife earlier, what that meant by icing the kicker. So I had to explain what that was. But the Giants called timeout. Bullock went to go kick the field goal, and it went wide left, and there's no excuse. If the Giants come in, thank you, Matt. We will be fine. And just like the Packers, you guys are going to be fine too. People are over there. Oh my God, look at the Packers. And I'm just like, look, the Packers are going to be fine. A lot of people don't understand. It's week 1. Everybody's like so in an uproar about all this stuff. And it's like Dashy's going crazy because the Bengals lost to the Steelers. I'm like, relax. It is week 1, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like this is going to be the end of be all end all. This ain't like week 18 or week 17 where everything is down the wire. Then that's a little bit, then you have a reason to be upset and pissed if your team didn't make it. But the Titans have shown resiliency every year. They've always shown that when the chips are down and people are betting against them, they've always betted against them. We've always been the underdog team. That's why I always laughed at that guy on TikTok that I saw who said we were overrated. I was like, overrated, right? And Duke Botters, the man himself, the great Duke Botters, which he's live right now for the Dallas Tampa Bay game. But even Duke Botters told me on Facebook that the Titans were not a soft team, and they're not a soft team, and they're very physical. Coach Vrabel's a very physical guy. They'll be fine. We'll bounce back from this. Even if we went 0-2 if we go into Buffalo and we lose to Buffalo, I'm not worried at that point either. Because I really do believe that I'm looking at the Titans schedule. We have some games against some teams that I know that we can cause some issues for. So I'm not worried about it. A lot of people are just on this Oh my God, you lost to the Giants. You should have beaten the Giants. Yes. What did Matt say? I wouldn't be surprised if you beat Buffalo. That'll be a tough game. It always is against Buffalo. The last year when they were here in Nashville, the game of Buffalo, that was right down the wire, and it's going to be right down. It's going to be down the wire again. Um, I do think in some cases though, Ryan Tannehill showed a lot more poise. I thought the offensive line did a really good job of protecting Tannehill. Even though I've heard some people on TikTok and on YouTube saying that our offensive line took a hit and that we're going to be garbage, and it's nice to see that these motherfuckers are wrong, but that's the $1 million question there, Ogden. That's a really good question, and I've never understood that about my two tone blue boys. They always tend to have really good games against really good teams. But when they face a team like the New York Football Giants, or they face against the Jets, or against Miami, or against Houston, they tend to go. Ugh. They tend to have this brain fart of some sort, and that's one thing that the Titans have got to figure out. They have to overcome that going forward if they're going to be and they're going to be a playoff team regardless. But if they're going to go up to that next step, the Titans have got to make sure that they win games that they need to win, and that's the only way that they're ever going to get a chance to get back to the Super Bowl or even win one. Like I said, I thought our defense did a really good job. And we have a lot of young corners. I think our corners are going to start learning how to gel together a lot better. I think that, like I said, the Giants did a lot of good trickery plays in the second half that really got their game going. And Barkley was balling. He was balling. He was healthy. And Barkley's a big dude. I mean, like you said, have you seen the size of Barkley's legs? He's a big boy, and you have to understand that. You have to understand that about how good of an athlete Barkley is. This is contract year for him. Apparently, it's ride or die now for the Giants. Are they going to re-sign Barkley, or are they going to let him walk? To be honest, everyone last in the division, I'm counting it a tie to win. You know what? That Colts and Texans game, like I said, I probably noticed Stephen Rose is upset about it, but honestly though, they both played a really good game against each other. The Texans seem to have the Colts number, and last year we split it with the Texans. We need to find a way to not split it with them. We beat the Colts twice last year. We need to go in there and beat the Colts twice again. And we need to go in there and beat the Jags twice. I think that's the only thing that we can do right now to keep ourselves above water as far as this division goes. And I know people are like, well, this division sucks, Kevin. You guys will hit him. I'm like, well, that's the nature of the beast. I mean, the NFC East right now, I mean, Philly's got to win. The Washington's got to win. The Giants are going to win. Right now, it looks like here in the fourth quarter, Dallas is losing 19-3. And what's interesting, though, is that they never beaten Tom Brady. And right now, they got 4 minutes and 29 seconds to find a way to beat Tom Brady, and they haven't done it yet. Yeah, Dak's got a hand injury. I saw that. But regardless, Titan Nation, I think we're going to be fine. And everybody that's already making these little comments saying, oh, we need to get this, we need to get that, just calm the fuck down. Calm down. It's week 1. Week one's very unpredictable. It's always been unpredictable. And I don't think I've seen a week one yet where it wasn't unpredictable. It was unpredictable last year. It's unpredictable this year. And a lot of teams didn't play their starters this season during the playoff during the preseason. Sorry, good Lord, I swear to God, man, I'm like been tongue tied all day today. But yeah, they haven't. A lot of these people didn't play their starters during the preseason because they only have 3 games, and you have more. You have 18 weeks now in the NFL, so obviously you don't want to play your starters during the preseason because you're worried about injuries. So I honestly think that we'll be fine. I think that Tannehill needs to find a more of a connection with Robert Woods because I think Robert Woods, even though he's coming off that ACL injury, he needs to have more of a connection with him. I thought Burks did a really good job. Both our rookie receivers did a really good job, except for when Cooper decided to cough it up there in that when he was doing Phillips when he was. I swear, today has been one of those days. Mel is sick. My dad is sick, so it's been like a weird Sunday. I have no idea what's going on. It's just a weird Sunday. So usually I got it better than this, folks. It's just today has been really weird. I'm in shock because I really didn't think we were going to lose that football game. I really did not think we were going to lose that football game. And even when we were down 21-20 and we were right there knocking at their door, I felt like Mike Vrabel, he was being a little too cautious there. I thought he should have just threw it out the window and was like, you know what, fuck it. Let's not go. Let's just go for the win. Forget about the field goal. Let's just do it. Yeah, if they would have did it there and they wouldn't have gotten it, I know fans and sportscasters would have been like, well, Mike Vrabel made a mistake, blah, 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 blah. So it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't situation. And it's like that for a lot of NFL coaches. They don't do a certain thing, then they're criticized for it. But when they do and they try to step up to do it, they're being criticized here too. So everybody calm down. We're 0-1 right now. Not where we want it to be starting off the season because we won our first step. Well, then again, though, think about it this way. The Titans were 0-1 last year at home. We lost to the Cardinals, and we bounced back. That's what the Titans do. And then we went in week 2, and we had a big fight. We had a really tough fight with Seattle last year. And everybody expected us to lose that game. And we ended up winning that game. So, and that's a hostile environment in Seattle. So if we can go into a hostile environment in Buffalo and do the exact same thing, we're going to be just fine. And I think we will be just fine. So anyways, tighten up, Titan Nation. We're going up against Buffalo next week. As I said, Buffalo looks really good. Josh Allen, one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. But will we have their number this year? Time will tell. We'll tell next week. But the Titans are going to bounce back from this. And, I see nothing but brightness for this team. I know a lot of people were picking them not to do well because, we traded A.J. Brown to Philly. And I'm like, he didn't really do anything for Philly today. And everybody's talking about, you guys don't have him, so you're going to be this way. I'm like, well, that's just how it is. It's just Derrick Henry's just going to have to find a way to get his foot in order, to get his footing in order, and he's going to have to find a way to get back to that form of being King Henry that we all know. And there was credit to the Giants defense. They were tackling him straight up. They were wrapping him up. They actually were hitting him pretty hard. And that's the one thing you got to do against Derrick Henry. And the Packers did that. I think 2 years ago when it was during the COVID thing where they were actually we went to Green Bay and Green Bay beat us pretty easily. That's because Green Bay was tackling Derrick Henry and they were wrapping him up. They were gang tackling him, and the Giants did the exact same thing today. And that's exactly what you need to do against a big monster like that. But don't worry, Derrick Henry will get his. And I'm not worried about it. We're gonna bounce back. Buffalo's up next. Tighten up, Titan Nation.